Stepgun here. What's going on, everybody? I hope you all having a wonderful day. If you haven't done so already, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button so you guys can follow the channel. And that's right, we have an Instagram page now. Look down below, Stepgun on Instagram. Get in there and check them out. And if you haven't done so, or if you're ever in the area, check out Arsenal Arms down here in South Florida. A wonderful gun store, great atmosphere. Come on in and check us out. Now, for today's video, it's a Glock. One of my favorite line of guns is a Glock. Wait a minute, I'm wearing a shirt. The Glock 48. Enough of me, let's look at the gun. Alright everybody, that's right, enough of my ugly mug. Let's take a look at this beautiful firearm right here. And as you guys, if you check out the channel, if you guys follow, subscribe, you know, I did a video on the Glock 19, Glock 48 comparison. We were just getting the channel up and running. And you know, I really haven't taken enough time to really delegate my time to the beautiful Glock 48. If you guys can see my hand here, when the oven's on 425 and you have two kids and you're trying to get some chicken nuggets out of the oven, you can sometimes burn yourself. So that's what happened to my hand there. And beside that, so yeah, the Glock 48 is, I love it. If you look at my video I did on the Glock 19, it was actually a couple months ago, I said I prefer the Glock 48 over the Glock 19. Well, this thing we do called life here and where we live, sometimes people change their mind and switch things up. As of lately, I've been carrying a Glock 23, which is you know, it's a Glock 19, same compact size pistol, which is smaller than this pistol, but it's the caliber 40 Smith & Wesson, which is bigger than the 9mm, 9x19, 9mm Luger, you know, if you will. So I've been carrying that, and then sometimes I'll carry my Glock 19 as well. And then I'll also carry this little skinny joker at times as well. So to cut right down to it, this is kind of the new generation Glock build. As you guys can see here, the length overall is 7.28 inches. The slide length is 6.85 inches. And the width overall, what makes this gun super incredible is that the width is 1.10 inches wide, okay? The weight without a magazine is 18.48 ounces, and the weight with empty magazine is 20.74 ounces. So it's a very, very, very light gun. The barrel length is 4.17 inches as well. So this gun is super, super, it's almost like, you know, those of you that are very familiar with Glocks out there, and I know there's many of you that are experts on YouTube that'll comment below sometimes, you know, that the Glock 19 is the most, you know, wonderful carry gun ever made. Some people argue it's the best conceal carry handgun ever made, but the Glock 19 is just super thin, guys. I mean, it fits a good waist profile if you're trying to carry in the waist. I know for women, sometimes my wife will carry this gun as well. It fits really well in a pocketbook. It fits well in you know, in a lot of different ways that women carry guns nowadays. There's a purse roll, there's some inside waist purse for women. I know when the cold weather comes around, they make some good in-jacket purse holsters as well. But in my opinion, you know, it's not a bad gun. Someone commented in one of my last videos, and I checked it out. Shield Arms makes a magazine that holds 10 rounds. As you can see here, this Glock that I bought came with 2 magazines. I don't know if it's a Gen 5 thing they're doing now or why they're doing it, but I had 2 10-round magazines that come with this firearms. You guys can see the Gen 5 new generation of firearms comes with this orange follower. So therefore, when you're shooting the gun, you hit the last round, you can clearly see that the follower is orange. And for those of you that are a little paranoid watching on the other side, this chamber is clear. There's nothing in it. This gun is unloaded, and it's a very safe firearm I'm working with right now. But yeah, that's your Gen 5 magazine, if you will, with the orange follower. So Shield Arms, I'll put a comment down below to the website so you guys can look at that. They sell a 15-round magazine. For the last several months I've checked, guys, though, they have been on back order. For those of you that want your extra rounds in the pot, you can check that out as well. But as we get down to it, like I said, it's a very slim Glock 19. For any of you that are familiar with 1911s, okay, 1911 pistols, 1911 A1, the pistol the U.S. military carries for several years, it has that sort of profile that's very slim, okay? As you guys can see, I have pretty large hands. Another thing, too, to wrap your head around is that when you're looking at it, when you're holding the gun inside of your hand, one thing that's really crazy is you see how my finger kind of comes around here when I get a good hold on the trigger. So when I was shooting this gun very rapidly, you know, fast shooting the firearm, I had a tendency to really stick my finger all the way through. So it took I had to really take my hand and kind of come back this way, if you will, around it. So people with large hands, that's something to really consider about the Glock 48, about how it is so thin. Now, being a 9mm Gen 5, Generation 5, when you guys hear me talk about that, Glock has made several generation pistols. The Generation 4 pistols, when they added this bigger magazine release here, they added, you know, a double recoil spring. You know, we'll get down into some of that stuff for those of you who don't understand. And then the Generation 3 is obviously the pistol that was before that, which had finger grooves and a single recoil spring. So, you know, Glocks have evolved over the years, but still kept pretty much the same simple process of making these, you know, firearms that are very reliable. You know, I can't say 100% reliable because nothing in this world is 100% reliable, except your wife being mad at you when you spend a bunch of money on firearms. And, you know, but Glocks, you know, besides that, are reliable, okay? And that's what makes them so famous. So, are you going to ever have a jam? Are you going to have an issue? I have had jams. I have had issues with the Glock before with thousands and thousands of rounds through them. But the thing is, practicality, when your life is on the line, you can trust this gun, you know, to be there, be by your side, and not fail, okay? And now to cut down into it, as you guys can see here, we have kind of an oversized magazine release, which became popular on the Glock Gen 4. As you guys can see, we have one slide lock right here. And then the slide is very thin, as you guys can see. Also, on the barrel, you kind of see how the barrel is proportionate on a downward slope with the way the slide moves, okay? We'll disassemble the firearm in just a second, or field strip it, rather I say. And you can see this gun is made in Georgia. Some people have a big controversy. You know, Glocks are made in Austria, but Georgia is the U.S. import, Smyrna, Georgia, here in the United States, to assemble firearms. And yes, they are QC and quality assured checked. And I haven't had a single issue out of any of my Georgia firearms. So a lot of the people out there that have problems or talk about, oh, this gun's made in Georgia, it's not worth it. In my opinion, I don't go off of hearsay. I go off of my trial and error, and I haven't had any problems whatsoever. So that's my humble opinion. But as you can see here, the trigger they have on this gun is very, very nice. That's one thing I really like about it. As you can see, it's got the grooves here. It's got the normal drop safe trigger. As you guys can see, it has the detent here where, you know, when you rack around, unless you push down on the center detent inside of the picture, inside of the trigger, excuse me, the trigger will not fire. But when I push down here, as you can see, I have fired the trigger. And the reset is, let's get it here. There's our reset. So no grit, nothing like that. As you guys can see, my creep. Creep is the distance before the trigger is fired. You can see my creep is good. It's an initial gain, so it doesn't go solid, complete creep. I get complete a buildup of you know, weight as I go towards the wall, which is where the trigger breaks. So right here, it starts getting a little tight, and I get a good tight feel here. You know, I'm against the back of the wall. All my creep is gone, and there's the trigger. And the reset is also very smooth as well in the trigger. As you guys can also see on the Glock, normally they have 3 takedown pins. This Glock here has 2 takedown pins. You know, you take your roll punch or whatever, you can push these out. You can knock your magazine, not magazine, excuse me, your striker plate out. You knock everything, all that stuff out. You can knock your trigger out as well. I'll go ahead and field strip the gun so you guys can see. Typical Glock. You got your takedown spring right here, a takedown spring right here, which pulls a plate down inside of the gun when you let go. So when you take this slide off, that plate I'm talking about is right here. Okay, you pull that down, it allows your slide to come off the gun. And you guys can see here is my recoil spring I was telling you about on the Gen 4, Gen 5 earlier. This is your double recoil spring, which, what the double recoil spring does is it mitigates recoil, so your follow-up shots are a lot more accurate and faster. And then we get into the barrel here. Nice thin barrel for 9mm. You know, typical Glock barrel, okay? Glock barrels are pretty much universal across all platforms. Obviously, the Glock 48 is specific to this firearm because this is a new style firearm they made. unlike the Glock 19, Glock 17, you know, Glock 23, Glock 22, if you will. And then you can look into the slide here. Another thing I like about this slide is this front beveled edge. Beveled edge is kind of a rounded edge, if you will. We got good front serrations right here to grab this slide and pull it back. As you guys can see, we have an oversized distractor right here. And then you look down here, I still have the factory oil, which is like that Cosmoline style oil still on this gun as well. There's a screw right in there if you ever want to change the sights, which I have changed these sights out. I have some AmeriGlow night sights on here, which glow well in the dark. You know, like I said, guys, I really love this gun. It's super small, it's compact, it's built for, you know, it's a good conceal carry gun, okay? We'll go ahead and throw this thing back together. As you guys can see, the barrel goes in like so. Take your double recoil spring, push it in, engage it right inside of that barrel. Okay, once you get it right inside of there, you'll take it right on the guns. You guys can look inside of the gun here and see there's your trigger. So there's our trigger bar. Everything coming off of the trigger springs as well. And the like I said, I really like the trigger on this gun as well. The Gen 5's Glock really started remastering these triggers. Go ahead, we'll rack it on. Always, whenever you assemble a field stripped weapon, you want to function check it, which is something I learned in the military. And that will be basically, you know, pull it through, put the gun on, pull the trigger, pull the slide back. Does the trigger reset? Yes. The trigger reset, pull it back, lock the gun, slide it. Yep, this gun is good to go. And then y'all can see kind of right here as well, it's a beaver tail design that they added onto the lower of the gun as well to really keep your hand hidden underneath that slide. Because as you guys know, in a striker fired pistol, whenever you pull this trigger, that slide reciprocates all the way back, you know, really fast. If you got a piece of skin hanging over, I guarantee you that will be the last time you ever do that, okay? But yeah, guys, this Glock 48 is very simple. It's very basic. For those of you looking for a good self-defense weapon, maybe have small hands, maybe your wife, maybe you are a woman out there that is looking for a handgun that you can trust and something that is small enough to carry, this Glock 48 you know, might be the way you need to go, okay? Like I said, the trigger is very good. A 9mm bullet doesn't have hardly any recoil at all. And as you know, or if you do not know, 9mm has become a very popular round among a lot of people. I'm sure a lot of you down below will comment and tell me your opinion on the 9mm as well. You know, a lot of people like different things, you know, as you got, you know, just like every football fan likes different teams, you know, people have different preferences over different size bullets, 40, 45. I love them all. They're all for different good reasons. But the 9mm has become very popular because the ballistics and terminal velocity that can be achieved with different primers, different hot powder, different loads, different grains, anything from 124 grain, NATO, 115, even the 147 jacketed hollow points that are plus P, which is a very powerful round, is proved time and time again to be effective with the terminal ballistics that are being created in the 9mm. And it's just, you know, kind of the popular rounds as the government took over. So a lot of these companies are really creating some incredible ammo right now in 9mm. But, you know, as far as a range toy, if you wanted to buy this gun and say, oh, I want to take it to the range, I mean, yeah, you could do it. You can do that, you know, whatever you want. I'm not one of those people to say that. It really irritates me when you walk into a gun store and you have the guy behind the counter who's like, oh, you don't want to use that gun to shoot it. No, if you buy a gun, by all means, you know, load up some Full Metal Jacket and go to the range and blast away. I mean, that's what Glocks are fun for. But at the end of the day, if you're looking for something that you know you want to have your life protected with when you're concealed carrying a firearm, the Glock 48 is truly wonderful, guys. Be sure to check it out. I know a lot of Glocks right now are hard to find. A lot of firearms in general are hard to find. But this gun may be good for you. And as always, you know, when you go in anywhere, you know, if you want to look at a gun or you're thinking about buying a gun, if you can, before you ever buy a gun, be sure to pick it up and hold it in your hand. Because, you know, like I said, one of the things I had to kind of deal with was kind of the cupping my hand back here, if you will, when I shoot, instead of having my hand, you know, up high like I normally would on any other gun. As you can see, where your finger comes inside of here, to where your trigger is, you know, you want to hit that trigger right in the center of your finger here. I have to make that curve out. So to mitigate that, I've had to kind of, you know, pull my hand back a little bit to get a good hold on the trigger. So to each its own, try it out. But guys, this is the Glock 48. Glock has proven its name time and time again, and they never seem to let us down, guys. I love Glock, and I will use a Glock to protect my family and myself, probably for until something greater proves itself over time. But Gaston Glock has created something that is just absolutely insane in the striker-fired pistol, the Glock 48, guys. Hey guys, I really appreciate you watching this video today on this beautiful Glock 48. It's a wonderful handgun, and you know, just because I don't carry it every day doesn't mean I necessarily don't like the gun. I switch it up. I carry my Glock 23, I carry my Glock 19, I carry my Glock 48. I love all Glocks. Truth be told, this is one awesome Glock right here, guys, the Glock 48. If you're looking to get one, something that conceals really well, as you guys can see how slim this firearm is here. It's super slim. It's almost like a really small officer size, if not commander size, 1911 style slide. Check it out. And as always, guys, be sure to like and subscribe. I appreciate all the comments we've been receiving so far on the channel. Comment down below. What's your opinion? What do you think? What can I do better? I love good feedback. Comment it down below. Maybe I can get my hands on a gun you guys really want to see. Who knows? But until next time, Step Gun is out.